So this is actually the, boy, I don't even know which side of it, but it's the other side of the island. They actually have some beach here, but their beach is just all volcanic ash. So it's a little bit different than what you would see at any other island. A little bit more like, I don't know how you describe that, but. So we just drove to a different part of the island. What I am interested in is what this big building is over here. It has an actual big smokestack behind it. I'd be curious what, if anything, was manufactured here at any time on the island. I don't know. I don't. Early Christian ruins. Supposedly this is a Christian basilica. But you can see there's some columns over here. Very ornate. I don't know if you call this a Corinthian column. You can see this one, it's got the grooves all the way up and down it. The other thing that's pretty cool too is that we're up against like a solid rock face. And then right out here, if you go just out this way and straight down, there is a dock right on the water. But I think then also this is the highest point on the island right up there. So we were stopped, we came up from Parissa, which is down here, and we saw this fort up on the hill, so we thought we'd stop by that. So now we're checking that out. I don't really know anything about it other than it looks like some type of fortification, but that is the view out towards the sea. This is one of the largest like beach areas in the island here. Oh, I'm pretty sure that says don't go in here. Definitely want to go down there though. Kind of interesting to see that they've just got larger pieces of stone. In between that, they've got smaller pieces of stone, and then over the top of that, some type of cement coating that holds it all together. Interesting. Rory thinks that there's a leather station.
Weather.
Oh, weather. Check this out, though. So this is up at the ancient ruins of Thera, which I don't really know what that means, but so we were at Parissa earlier today, and that is down here below us, and we were at the base of that cliff, and that's where we saw that church from. Well, it'd have to be after Christ, so it'd have to be sometime after 0 BC, obviously. But, so very, very interesting here. Yeah, it looks like there's a trail back down here. How long do you think it took us to come up? 10 minutes?
From the hotel?
No, from the base.
Yeah, like 10 minutes.
I mean, it was so it was a 24-minute drive from the hotel, but it was probably just once we got to the base, which I would call this a mountain because there's a significant elevation change. It was probably 10 minutes just on switchbacks back and forth. Oh yeah, and so you can see people here down below. These poor miserable people. I would recommend, unless you're like an avid hiker or currently, a high school or collegiate athlete, just rent a four-wheeler, scooter ideally, drive to the top, come up here and check stuff out. So
I certainly would not buy that.
if you know anything about the history of the island, they had a lot of issues, and this place here, okay, was one of the areas where they would look out over the island and the surrounding seas and watch for essentially what were pirates or raiders. So further up above, you can see all these different places where they've gotten walls, things are fortified. Their main thing in the area was trade. So You can see down below here.
Something sculpted.
Yeah, isn't that cool across here? I don't know, there's gotta be a road back there. Pretty cool. We're gonna go to the top and then come right back down. So as a history nerd, like, this is definitely one of the more exciting things that I've seen. Now, this is wild, okay? So we were talking about this over here. I'm gonna try to zoom in on this. There are people hiking down this trail. You can see that. There's a zigzag as it comes down. You see them now? Talk about, count me out if that's your idea of a vacation.
That does not even look
That,
like a trail.
no, it doesn't look like a trail. It looks like if you were out here spotting stuff. That's so far away. And that's so, this is really, really cool. Very, very, like, almost straight up. No vegetation. Very cool. Okay, so the airport is just over here. We're gonna be flying out of there here in another 4 hours, but this is the first green field with any grass on it. Can't verify that that's actual grass. Could be turf, but check out the beach down below. Okay, where will we? We're still gonna go up higher here, so. Walking through some ruins. Pretty cool here. Just looking at cylindrical construction. One of the things that has always struck me as fascinating is the invention of the creation of the wheel in this part of the world, which never made it to the New World until both the Spanish and the Portuguese traveled there. Super interesting. Also interesting to me, I don't know, is like this barracks, a low, because you can see the slope of what the roof would have been here. Obviously, this is some type of cement, which is, we were talking about this, super, super old. Wild. We just went by a carving of a dolphin, a lion, and one other thing, and I don't remember what it was. A bird, that's right. But even some of the carving with some of the stuff that you see here, it seems like really crude. And then you have some of this, right? Which I would call, that's almost like a molding, similar to the baseboard that you would have in your house, but look at how ornate this piece is here. That to me is, it's wild that somebody was like, hey, we're gonna build a fort, make sure we get some really nice molding up there. It's important, I want the soldiers to feel comfortable because form is as important as, I don't remember what the other one is.
Function.
Yes, form and function, you're right. Form is just as important as function. Whoa, check this out. Hey, check this out down here. Look at that. That's some incredible masonry there. I mean, similar if you go up into the Andes and look at any of that. Yeah, just that corner there. How tightly that stone is fit in there. And that's not something that was placed there recently. That is a pretty ornate piece of work there. Now, this is interesting too. You've got this tree who got lazy and decided to lay down here. Clearly the tree is not hundreds and hundreds of years old, but just the fact, it was really cool. As we were driving up, there were a ton of pine. Are we supposed to go up there?
Everybody else.
Everybody went this way. We'll go this way. Maybe it goes up and around. Super interesting. I think it's more interesting to me that they built these stone walls like this and whatever they use from a masonry standpoint. It's been there for thousands of years and it hasn't fallen over. If you sent me out into the garden and you were like, hey, build a rock wall, it would fall over shortly thereafter. These people clearly knew something that I did not know. Man, this is super cool though. Again, I don't mean to be like overly ecstatic about the architecture that I'm seeing, but just looking at the joinery. So for example, one of the videos that we did last week is we went into that new construction house. The seams on what are thousands of years old are tighter on this masonry than on the baseboard in that new home that we were looking at. And you still have columns, and I don't know if that column has been in that position since it was placed, or if they found it and restored it. Like, for example, all of this looks like stuff that they have kind of cataloged in place over here. You can see the base of several columns. I mean, even this has got articulate, like my handwriting is terrible. And this is somebody's handwriting from thousands of years ago, you know, that they can actually go back and tell you exactly when it was done. Really, really neat. Yeah, lizards all over the place. But anyway, apparently this was a city where multiple people lived. And again, we're looking out over the ocean in all directions, trying to warn all the rest of the citizens of the island of people coming to raid and take whatever was here to be taken, I guess, especially from a trading standpoint. Super elaborate house. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So we made it to the other side, and this is Parissa that you can see down that we were traveling around before. Love this view. It's incredible. You can see that they fortified the entire top of this all the way around. And when I say fortified, not like the 1800s with Americans settling the West. They built like a stockade. This is ornate. There's a theater that we just walked by. It's nicer than the theater, I'm sure, at the university I'm going to be working at next. Just incredible craftsmanship. You can see with all of the masonry that's around. The other thing that's really interesting to me too, I'm curious how many of the materials that you see here were imported or how many of them were actually quarried on the island. As we were driving up, I noticed that there were several quarries on this side currently. But again, fascinating, absolutely fascinating. I really enjoyed this. It's like traveled a lot, you know?
Yeah. Especially for like from when my grandparents were sailing
Oh yeah,
on the boat.
forgot about that.
Probably my mom more than my dad. Because she did a lot with my grandparents when she was a kid too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they were on the boat for 17 years.
Yeah.
So that would afford her a great deal of time to be able to check things out that they were doing.
You're putting the camels.
A little bit of turbulence.